Welcome.
Mike.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How's it going?
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Awesome. Everything's good. Pink mic, blue mic. Does it matter?
both
These
of
are
those.
You can have
gender,
'em.
gender
Yeah.
specific
You've done
mics.
this?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Most people are choosing pink though. And
People
I think
pink
that's
is the
kind
hot
of the
color.
theme.
It's kind of a theme.
Right.
Yeah, good. Let's keep it a theme for a long time.
So I was very excited earlier. I don't know if you will recall because I was actually sitting behind you, but we were in the makeup arena
were.
at the same time.
They
She
did a
remembers.
beautiful job on you. They
Thank
did.
you. I know
We're
they've
kinda
saved.
greasy, though,
To be
but-
honest, it's all come off. Like I've been back
I
here
liked when you
sweating.
said moist. I was like, ooh, one of my
Oh.
favorite bands. Not one of my favorite words, though, I have to say.
I didn't just say more. I believe I used a phrase that maybe if almost, but you chuckled and sort of repeated the phrase, and I was like, "This is a major achievement in my life now." Like I've said something that ricocheted around in your brain that you found amusing. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. I was already bragging about it earlier.
Congratulations on your special achievement.
Thank
How did it go? I
you.
mean, like we were talking to other people, and I was trying to see you out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what is she saying? I want to hear.
It was awesome. You know, I mean, there's a ton of people to thank, and you know, I made the mistake of starting listing names. It's like, it's always you always forget somebody. But at the end, because we did the women's panel today,
Yeah, I
right?
saw
There's
that.
like feisty, strong, focused women. And so I needed to talk a little bit about, you know, where we need to go in terms of the numbers, because the numbers for women in our industry and in every industry are a market fail. They're just a market fail.
Can you give a couple of those?
Sure.
Yeah.
So 5% of Fortune 500 companies have women CEOs. 5%. Right? 14.5% on boards are women of the 677 TSX companies. Almost half, 45% of TSX companies have no women on their boards at all. It's a market fail.
Right.
And every single piece of evidence, every piece of data that I've seen shows that a better gender balance, more inclusivity, more diversity in a company is actually good for business. Increases productivity, it hits your bottom line, it enhances your brand reputation. I mean, it's just good business too. So tonight I asked the men to stand up. I was like, okay. Who's going to champion women? Stand up. And they all did.
It's so easy for people to like tweet something and
Yes.
sort of
I know.
position themselves like they're being, supportive and on the right side of these things. But, are the decisions actually being made? How do we hold people to account? Do you
Well,
feel like-
we have to have those conversations, and we must not be weary. You know, that's part of the challenge with almost any movement is it's, in the zeitgeist for a while, and then there's backlash, and people get tired, and there's divisiveness in the ranks, but we can't get weary. We can't afford to get weary. And Tegan and Sarah said a
she
really
was there
interesting
today.
thing today. She said that they've decided that every time they have, they're going to make a statement about something, they add an action item to it, right? And it's so smart because I remember when, when Amnesty International started, they're like, people are in prison. What do? I write a letter and put a stamp on it. When War Child started, it was at the time when we were all worried about the rainforest because and it still is, for God's sakes. And Sam and I were having Dr. Samantha Nutt about War Child, and I said, we got to figure out, because people want to do something. So at that time, it was like blue boxes. So we're all panicked that, climate change and the rainforest and everything. It's like, take your plastic, put it in the recycle bin. That's something I can do. So it was great that Tegan brought that up because I think it's just so smart.
What is one thing that we can do?
Well, you can talk to your bosses and your male friends and not be afraid to speak
It's
up.
tough. It is
tough,
hard.
but you know what? Younger women are not standing for the stuff that my generation used to, right? We just got used to having our asses grabbed on the way to the photocopier. We're like, yeah, whatever, that's just the way it is. But it's not, it shouldn't be the way it is. And young women need to stand up. And they need to be supported by other women around them, for sure. And, we just have to keep it out there because otherwise we will just, slide back into complacency and we won't make those numbers any better. And it's better for everybody if we do.
Do you feel pressure as sort of someone who has been in a position of power for a longer period of time to be able to sort of pull up younger women and be part of enacting
No,
that
I feel
change?
no pressure at all. I've always wanted to do that. I mean, there's this weird idea in when, you know, women, if they finally make it to the executive suite, it's because they're the best. They've had to overcome a lot of stuff. But there's this weird idea that the air is so rarefied up there that they have to defend it against all comers. But actually, the truth and the reality is there's strength in numbers. So send a hand down, pull somebody up, mentor them, support them, and then we'll get to those sort of tipping points of more women in positions of power, and we can actually really start to have some action.
Can you be one of my mentors?
Yeah.
There you go.
Good for you.
This is better than you asking the bloggers for Instagram
I know
followers.
it's true. Like follow for follow,
Yeah,
mentor
yeah, it's
for
like,
an
yeah.
awkward phase. I don't know.
Denise, thank you so much for joining us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Truly.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.